So today I'm going to do a question called clone a linked list with next and random pointers. Set 1. Let me go ahead and read the question. You are given a double linked list, okay, with one pointer of each node pointing to the next node, just like a single linked list. The second pointer, however, can point to any nodes in the list and not just the previous node. Now write a program on-temp to duplicate the list. That is, write a program which will create a copy of this list. Let us call the second pointer as a bit pointer, as it can point to any arbitrary nodes in the linked list. Alright, so I think this is like one of the common problem, like algorithm problem. So given is double linked list, say A, B, and C, and then let's say A. Let's say A is pointing to C. So this would be the arbitrary pointer. So B pointing to A, and C pointing to A, and A is pointing to B. And the problem is, if all the nodes are unique, it's not difficult to clone this. What we can just do is we create this straight linked list. So we create, so as we go through like so this is like given, this is like the input. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. So I'm thinking of like just like copying the straight linked list for now. So let's go into head, it's just like copy it and do like A. So we cannot like create C yet. Oh, okay. So we agree that we can like create this like easily, just like go traverse through head, like A and then B and then C and then A to get all of this. And then as we like traverse through this, we can like hit a record saying that A is also have to map to C, and B have to map to A, and C is mapped to A, and A is mapped to B. But as you guys can see right here, we run into the problem. We don't know which A this is because we have two A. I'm not like, so like normally in a nodes, like class node, we usually have several like this and then volume, right? So we usually have two uh, two property. One is self dot value is equal value, and then one is self dot next is equal to none. So the question suggested us to do this question in ON time. Let me think a little bit. I think we can do it in. Definitely we can do it in ON squared. So. So as we traverse, we can keep record C A B. Oh, how about this? How about oh, okay, I got a really good idea on how to solve this problem. So we know that the ID of this is unique, the ID of this is unique, the ID of this is unique, and the ID of this is unique. So I think that's what we want to. So I'm saying that we should store the ID of this too. Let's say the ID is W, X, Y, and Z. So here A is stored ID of Y, and B is X, right? So on, so on. So this A is Y and B is A, which is W, and C is Z, and A is X. Right. So this would be the ID of the original node. ID. So once we have this linked list, because when we create this linked list, what we can do is we can create a dictionary to store this node. So it's in that dictionary we have C, Y that map to A. So in Python, dictionary is the same as hash map. So hash map allows us to do O1 lookup, and I take ON space. So this would be CY, and this would be AW, and then B, and then AZ, C, and to store that? I want to store a key that represents the identity of node A, node B. So that's what's called node A, node B, node C. So identity of A is basically, so first it's A, and the ID of A is W. This is the original ID. And B right here would be B and X. And C would be C would be okay, C would be C, and identity of the original node is Y. And then the other A would be A, but this is C, and this is also A. And this two A is two different A. This A is the A that have the ID of W. This A is an ID of C. Because the idea is, so if we look at, so now we have, now we know that we have A, B, C, A. So we have A, B, C. So we traverse like one time in order to create this linked list. And once we create that one time, we can just go through the origin. So this is like the clone linked list. So once we get this linked list, we can go to the original linked list to figure out the other pointer where that pointer points to. So for A, when I here it check two things. One, so right here it checks the second pointer and say it's seeing that, oh, I'm pointing to a node that have value of C, and that C have an ID of Y. So we look into our dictionary, and according to our dictionary, it's saying, oh, CY, it's pointing to a C node. So it's equal to point here. And then, for example, there's not BX, right? So, oh, okay, now we traverse one more time. We look at the second pointer of B. So the second pointer of B is pointing to A. This one is pointing to A that have a ID of W. So it's AW. So we look at our dictionary again. AW is pointed to the first A. So this is the first, this is the second. So we know where to point to. Yeah, like the reason that we need this ID is because it helps us to distinguish between this A and this A. Because like the ID is basically like the pointer. So every node is supposed to have a unique pointer, a pointer number. That's why it has different ID here. Yep. So similar thing go with C. So C, look at, I would say, pointing to node A with ID of C. So we look at the dictionary, like that. And this have to be a tuple because in Python, I think in other languages as well, key has to be a mutable, no, a key has to be an immutable data type. So tuple is an immutable data type. So we want to store this as a tuple. Alright, and lastly, when we look at A, we see it's pointed to B, we check our pointer to X. So we can do this. Alright, I think that's basically it. That's like a big picture. Thinking about interface. We haven't written any codes yet, but the idea is first. So first step, so step number 1, clone all the node. Second, traverse. I clone all the node here. We need to do what? Create a dictionary at store new nodes, and we have a key as a node value, and so this is the node value and node ID. And value, basically just the nodes. You see nodes right here. Create, so clone all the nodes. So as we clone it, we also need to create a dictionary that map all of them. What is the next step? What did I do? Second, create connect second pointer. So we want to connect second pointer. So this would be the first pointer. This would be the second pointer of A. This one. Next second pointer. Alright, so how do we connect it? So we need to traverse original head and use node value. So node value would be A, B, or C, like the value A, value B. Node value. And node ID. Traverse original head and use node value, node ID to look up where to connect. Alright. So let's write the code. So define main head. Alright, so first thing first, clone all the nodes. So while head is not none, so while head is not none, we want to let's create a pointer that point to the result node or the output node. So let's say result, and this is like none. Here, and then we want to do, so if result is none, so if result is none, we want to replace result by a new node. Oh, we need to create a dictionary as well. Okay. Let's fix this one. So we need to have, let's call it my dictionary. And let's say resolve, this will be resolve, we get to none. And this, bring it a while loop. Let me see how far, like how down the camera can go. Oh, it can go all the way down. It's awesome. So, and then we do like while head is not none. We want to create, so if result is not none, so if result is none, I want to assign result one. We want to make result pointing to the nodes that have the value of head or value. And then we want to store I think I should ask more question. Like you in your interview, I should like clarify question. I might be asking question like what does every node have to point to the other nodes? Like, is this possible? This might be a good question that you're in an interview. Or maybe, does the second pointer have to point to something? Like, that would be, does the second pointer have to point to B? That would be another good question. Yeah, I should ask a question, but alright, let's continue. So result is equal to null and head. And then I want to store this new node to a dictionary. So to do that, we need to pass a key. So our dictionary is my dict. And the dictionary would be, so key is nodes and value. So node value would be head, node while, and then would be ID of head. Equal to result. Then else. So in the case that let me go and check how far I can go. So in the case that we already created A, right? So result is not none. So we want to do result of next. So we want to do else. Those equal to nodes. do the same thing. This one's like augment. So once it point to none, right here it should stop. And then I want to do, and after this I'll do head. Oh, I don't want to use head because I need a reference back to head again. So I could just do 10, what's it called, head. I can do head 1. Just do head 1 is equal to head. So head 1. So what I do is head 1 is equal to head 1 up next. So let's say that in this iteration, head 1 is right here, and then head 1 dot next would be null. So when it hits null, it will stop. And we still have a reference back to we don't have a reference back to results. Okay, need to be careful. Okay, what we can do is we can like do an output right here. So now it's equal to, and right here we do like out is equal. So out would be pointed to the clone lingless, and head 1 would be also, initially head 1 also pointing to the first portion of lingless. Because like we need some sort of reference for out, and then yeah, so yeah. All right, looks good. What's next? So now so in the case that we have just like nuns, just like one read it all. So let's do the second step. So the second step is we traverse through head. So now we set head 1. So this is in the same line. So now we set head 1 back to head, and resolve this back to out. So right now everything is pointing to the beginning of the link list, which is good. And then and the same thing while while head 1 it's not So while one is not none, and we want to check. Let's call the. So it's going to check like where this A pointed to, like the second pointer pointed to. So it's pointed. It points to C. So let's call that node is like. Let's call it. What should we call? Temp node. Let's just call temp. So it would be at. Let's say that the second pointer is like SP, second pointer. And then we get, so now we get C, right? So the goal is we want to point. So initially we don't have this. So after stage 1 we have just this, right? And then this is like the original input, so we check that. So A pointed to C, so right here we know C. And we have a dictionary that containing the map to the node. So we need to look at that map, which is my dict. And so the goal is like we need, like what we're trying to do is to find where this A should point to. So in order to access that, it's basically just resolve the second pointer is equal to dictionary. So it's basically just temp dot while dot ID then temp. Right. And then we want to do fucking C. We're done with it. Yeah, never mind. And then what? And then we need to move our pointer to B. So, and also move our pointer on the point to B as well. So in order to do that, we need to do like 1 dot next. At 1 is equal to at 1 dot next. And the same with resolve. Resolve is equal to resolve dot next. Yeah, that should do. So like hat 1 pointed to 9 right here. We want to stop the process and we want to return out, because out is always pointed to the first node right here. And then return out. And we know that at Microsoft, they like testing. After we write code, we need to test. So let's test with a edge case. Let's say if hat is none. So in the case that hat is none, hat 1 will be none, so this will be none as well. And this will be none, so it's just return out, and out is basically just none. So given a none, you want to return none. Let's say in the case that you have A, and it doesn't point to anything. So hat 1, is pointed to A right here, hat 1, and so it passed this condition, and then result is none, so create another clones So yeah, erase and test it with a new example. So say like this. So this would be just A. This would be at 1. And then we clone it right here, we clone the value. So we create another A, have it out right here. And then we store the dictionary of A and the ID of A. We point it to A. Result next is equal to node and no value. So look, after this, it's running into this code. So head 1 is head 1 dot next. So head 1 dot next is like null. This is also null. So it breaks from this while loop, and then it's going here. So it just set head 1 by x2 here, and resolve to here, and then head 1 is not none. So that's the question, like, what if like this is pointing to null? Like if like in the case that temp is equal to null, we don't want to do this. Because if we do this right here, we're going to get an error because null doesn't have a property of dot next. So like during the interview, it's good to clarify with the interviewer if the second pointer could point it to a null, it pointed to nothing. So yeah, we need to, maybe in the code we need to check this. If 10 is not null, we can do all this thing. And what else? So in the case that pointing to itself, will it cause any problem? Shouldn't it? Because we store this A with its original ID into the dictionary, and when we do like myDict and the value and an ID, it should return as like the same. Should return as the same A. So head 1 is equal to head 1 dot net. So just go to the break and then resolve. So this it's fine too because like resolve right now is resolve is A and resolve is null. So it's going to break this loop and return out. Yeah, I think this should work. Test it when it's none, when it's one node, when we have like general keys. Let's see what we can improve. Like, so what is the time complexity of this program? So I wrote over here. First, we need to traverse through the linked list to get the straight linked list right here. So that will take all n. And on the second part that I wrote right here, like this part, we traverse one more term from head. So that's another O(n). So O(n) plus O(n) is basically just O(n). So the time complexity would be n. And talking about space complexity, we use a hash map to store all of the nodes. So it would take an O(n) space as well. And we use a couple pointers as well. So time is O(n) and space is O(n). This is like 2n. I mean, we can I think if you want to avoid like traverse like 2 times, we can create another hash map. So the first time we traverse through it, we create 2 dictionaries. One is a dictionary that record the new clone node. Another dictionary would be that's map between between the new nodes. So this would be the clone nodes to a value. And the ID. So this is the clone node, and this is like the value of the original node and ID of the original node. But still, we need to traverse one more time to assign them. Okay, because like, let's say that we have A, B, and C, right? So first we need to clone like the whole linked list. Say that this, let's say that this would be the original. Right? A to C, and B to A. The problem is we cannot just create one. We cannot just like create A and point it to C. You know, we can't do that. The reason is because C hasn't been created yet, so we can't. So that's why we need to create the main linked list first. And then once we create the main linked list, we need to traverse one more time to map. Just, you know. So I'm not sure, maybe I need to think a little bit more in order to come up with a time complexity that only do like one traversal. But I think I'm a little bit happy with what I got. I think I did okay. I did well. I mean, I've seen this problem before, but I didn't do so well, like on LeetCode and Geeks. Oh, this question is from Geeks for Geeks, and it's under the set that's saying the most asked interview question at Microsoft. And that's why I did it. All right, thanks.